What is up, my Pika crew? This is the ThePikaWu, and it's been a really long time. Dang. It's been almost 2 months now that I haven't been posting a video, but I'm back, and I'll be posting more Wi-Fi battles. Yeah, hopefully I'm still talking to people are still viewing my videos, but in any case, I got a quick update before we start this match and we start a team analysis. Pika Charity, so yeah, that's still going on. Basically what it is it's going to be a fundraiser event, if you guys don't know already, that a group of YouTubers, a group of Pokemon YouTubers are going to stream on twitch.tv, have a lot of fun while raising awareness to create social impact and donate money for charity. So check out the website pikacharity.org. You can vote on what charity you want the money to be donated to, because I think it's fair for everyone to be able to vote for a charity. And there's a lot of other cool things. There's giveaways. We're giving away Nintendo 3DSs, t-shirts. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, streaming is going to be starting tomorrow, Thursday, and it will continue on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be a multi-day event. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the charity stream and enjoy the event. Alright, now onto the team analysis. So looking at the roster of Pokemon on both my opponents and my team, it seems like both teams are pretty equal and pretty even. There's no team advantage. We're both using some pretty strong Pokemon, but at the same time, some lesser used Pokemon as well. For example, we both have Breilooms on our team, but we're also using more unorthodox Pokemon such as Kecleon and Vivillon for me, while my opponent is using Pokemon like Zangoose and Quagsire. Now in terms of team weaknesses, I don't really have a glaring weakness, but I have slight weaknesses to multiple types. And those types are Poison, Flying, Rock, Ice, and Fairy. I do have a single resist, but 2 weaknesses or more on each of those types. But for my opponent, he does have a glaring weakness, and that glaring weakness is Ice. He is also a little bit weak to Flying, but his main weakness is Ice. The only Pokemon that can capitalize on this weakness on my team is going to be that Lantern, so it's going to be important to keep that Lantern for the entire game. Now in terms of threats, my team is a little slow, so Zangoose, Nidoking, and Staraptor are going to be really big threats against my team, while for my opponent, Vivillon and Lantern are going to be big threats because my opponent is simply weak to Ice and Flying, and they're generally pretty strong Pokemon. So in terms of team playstyles, my team is a little balanced offensive. I'm using defensive Pokemon such as Lantern, Sigilyph, and Porygon 2, while at the same time using some pretty strong sweepers like Vivillon and Breloom, while my opponent is running more of a hyper-offensive team. He only has 1 Pokemon dedicated to being a wall, and that is his Quagsire, while the rest of his Pokemon are pretty frail sweepers. So that's going to be the end of the team analysis. It's going to be a really awesome match, comes down to the wire, so I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so I'm going to lead off with a Vivillon, as my opponent's going to lead off with a Breloom. And the main reason why I lead off with Vivillon is because it's a pretty good lead. It can go for the sleep powder, put something asleep, and I can live any single hit with my Focus Sash item. So I am going to stay in. I'm just going to go for the Hurricane because it's 4 times super effective against the Breloom, and my opponent doesn't really have a good switch in against Hurricane, so it's a safe move. Plus it's 92% accurate with Compound Eyes, so I am going to be able to take him out. But he actually surprises me. He's not a Focus Sash set or a Toxic Orb set. He's actually a Choice Scarf set. So before I take him out, he is able to deal a lot of damage, put me down to 1 HP with his Choice Scarf Rock Tomb. So that's a really interesting set. Never seen a Choice Scarf Breloom before. But now he actually brings in the Zangoose. Zangoose usually carry the Quick Attack, so I'm anticipating him just to go for it then. And he actually predicts my switch out by going for the Facade, so that was a pretty good play. It does a decent amount of damage against my Kecleon, brings me down to half, but the main reason why I bring in my Kecleon is because I do carry the Fake Out. And Fake Out's really important because it can flinch the Zangoose and inflict not only Fake Out damage, but also that Toxic damage, which does rack up if you leave Zangoose in. But looking at that Fake Out damage against the Staraptor, it does a lot of damage. So I know because I have the Protean, it's going to be a Stab Sucker Punch. I can be able to take him out with that second hit. So that was really awesome, and I can take down a really big threat because Staraptor, with its Brave Bird as well as its Double Edge, can really dent my team, and I'm lucky that I can take it out really early in the match. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Sigilyph because I don't really find this Sigilyph too useful against my opponent's team. and I'm just going to go ahead and let it take the quick attack or any move really. And I'm also bringing it in just to scout what kind of set he is. If he carries the Shadow Claw or if he carries the Close Combat, I want to see all of his moves that he carries. So another reason why is because I can try to Toxic Stall as well. But I'm not going to let my Sigilyph die just yet from another Shadow Claw. I'm going to go ahead and actually bring in my Porygon 2 to be immune to the hit. Kind of like a pivot switch, but he actually predicts that. Really great play and goes for the Facade. And that does a good 75% against this Porygon 2. And Porygon 2, one of the most defensive Pokemon in the game with that Eviolite, he's easily able to clean two-shot my Porygon 2. And Porygon 2, really good Pokemon to have because of Recover, and if it does carry a lot of special attack investment and Modest Nature, it can also pack a punch as well. So unfortunately for me, my Porygon 2 does go down. But I do have a pretty good counter against the Zangoose, and that is my Kecleon, because I can go for the Fake Out. It's going to be able to take down the Zangoose because he lost defense from the Close Combat, and he's going to rack up damage from Poison. But because I know he doesn't want his Zangoose to die just yet, since it's one of his most powerful Pokemon, I'm going to go ahead and predict the switch and go for the Recover, and I'm going to bring my Kecleon right back to full. So Quagsire here, it's going to be a pretty big threat because it's a really big defensive wall, and it does carry two unique abilities that are very effective. One is Underwear and the other one is Water Absorb, so I want to scout which one he has. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Power Up Punch and just see how much damage my +1 Sucker Punch does. If it doesn't do much damage, then he's definitely an Unaware set. But if not and does a lot of damage, it's really good to know if he does carry the Water Absorb, because I do have that Lantern. And being able to hit this Quagsire with a Stab Scald would be pretty useful. So here's the moment of the truth. I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch, and it does a lot of damage. A +1 Sucker Punch is around 50% to a Quagsire, which are generally physically defensive. So I am going to just assume he does carry the Water Absorb before he finally takes me out. If I were my opponent though, I would have just kept on going for the Recover. But maybe he thought I would predict that and go for the Return or something, so that's why he went for an attacking move instead of spamming Recover. But for now, I'm just going to bring in my Breloom, and I'm just going to go for the safe Bullet Seed, try to take out that Quagsire. Turns out he brings in the Espeon, probably predicting the Spore. But I know I can 2-hit KO or 1-hit KO depending on how many Bullet Seeds I get. I get a 2 Bullet Seed, not a big deal at all, because I can just retaliate back with a Mach Punch. So that Espeon is going to get taken out. And he can bring in any Pokemon he wants to counter my Breloom. Like I said in the team preview, he has a lot of fast Pokemon, and he decides to bring in the Nidoking, which is going to be able to outspeed me, and he can basically go for any hit to take me out. Whether it be the Flamethrower, the Ice Beam, or the Sludge Wave, they're all going to be very, very dangerous moves. And that basically means my Breloom's going to die or another Pokemon's going to die. So I am going to just leave my Sigilyph there as death fodder. And I don't really have that many answers to this Nidoking, but I know because it is specially based, and because I am carrying an Assault Vest with my Lantern, I should be able to take any single hit and deal damage back. I do decide to go for the Ice Beam because, like I said, my opponent's team is very weak to Ice. And I was actually predicting him to switch out. Unfortunately, that did not work in my favor at all. Scald probably would have taken this Nidoking out in one hit, but luckily for me, he was going to predict the switch and he went for the Flamethrower. And because I do carry that Assault Vest, I was able to live with a sliver of health, take him down with the second Ice Beam. So that was really awesome. My Lantern, being a beast, taking hits from a Nidoking. And I am just going to continuously go for the Ice Beam. Not really too sure why I went for the Ice Beam against this Quagsire. Just should have went for the Scald because I believe it is a Water Absorb. Maybe I didn't want to risk it during the battle. But having hindsight, I'm pretty sure this Quagsire is a Unaware set and not a Water Absorb set. So he is just going to take me down with the Toxic. But before I die, I do a decent amount of damage against this Quagsire. And bringing down this Quagsire to around yellow health is really important because Quagsire at green health can basically take any 2 hits from most Pokemon that don't deal super effective damage. And that is really, really useful because now I can actually revenge kill with any of my 2 Pokemon, whether it be my Breloom or my Vivillon. And that's really nice because he has one Pokemon left, and that's his Zangoose. And as long as Zangoose doesn't take out my last 2 Pokemon, well, it is going to take down my Vivillon because it has a quick attack. But basically, it comes down to this. If I can survive a quick attack against this Zangoose with my Breloom, then I'm going to win the match. If not, he is going to be able to win the match because it is down to our last Pokemon. So Breloom is at really healthy HP, and I'm just going to go for the Mach Punch. And surprisingly, he doesn't go for the quick attack. Maybe he knew that he won't be able to take me out with a quick attack, and he hoped that I didn't have priority. He hoped that I was not a technician set or something. But I was, and that is going to be the match. It is going to be a 1-0. Breloom clutching the match for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, a favorite, and a comment. And stay tuned for the comment question of the day. If you like this battle, feel free to join the Pika crew by subscribing. And yeah, peace out, guys.